Previously on Hermitcraft. Now there are a few things that can lure the drowned in this game. Turtle eggs is one of them, but you might notice this drowned doesn't seem particularly interested. Even when they're surrounded by air blocks like this, the drowns are just not interested. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. Yes, we've had trouble in the past trying to make a drowned farm. What did we end up doing? We ended up using Hypnotized Drowned Farm to get our hands on some tridents, but today my friends, I've sussed it out with all your help, we are going to be making our own drowned farm. And so I've recreated the experiment that I showed you in that episode and briefly in the beginning of this video. Our drowns are not interested in the eggs. So what is the trick? Well, thanks to some of you in the comments, and I always appreciate you commenting and helping me out. We need 2 air blocks above the eggs. So if we go place a block up here, break the one down below, it will now have 2 air blocks. These ones over here will catch up and figure that out in a moment. If I spawn some fresh ones, they will head straight to the eggs. And you know what this means? We now get to design our very own drowned farm. And my friends, here on Hermitcraft, I'm actually one step ahead of you because I've designed and started to construct a farm. This is a very simple trap. We have soul soil blocks with water sources above, which is going to send the drowns up. And as you can see, the eggs in the middle to lure them. They actually can't get to those because there are these cobblestone walls right here, meaning it's impassable. And very key, that right there is an air block. So is the one below it. That means any drowns spawning around this area will head towards the eggs, and then they'll get sucked up into this trap. So now we have the excuse to build yet another awesome tower in our base, and this one is going to be pretty crazy coming out of the ocean. So I started with the shape of the structure that would be at the bottom and worked my way upwards, expanding it as I went, and then decided to put a sphere on the top. Now what, my friends, does that right there look like to you? Yep, that's right, we've done it. Golf in Minecraft. It literally looks like a tee and a golf ball. I got really far into building this before I realised it. And this is not finished. I've got design work to do, but right now we are on the Let's Play Minecraft Together creative server. I sometimes come here to use World Edit and make cool stuff like this. And after putting in some time, a far better design is coming together. You can see this looks really clean. It's illuminated, a nice blend of colours, and up the top here, a giant eyeball, as the other people on the server are currently calling it. And I've actually had some help with other people bouncing some ideas back and forth off of me. And although I really like the use of these colours over here because it represents the theme of the drowned, I think I like this grayscale tone here on the left more. I'll tell you what, I could spend all day goofing around in a creative world trying out different shapes and ideas, but ultimately, as wacky and weird as this tower is, I feel like this is the design right here that we need to go with. And because a large portion of it requires quartz, I've been AFK in the Nether, and now I'm going to be hunted down. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, jeez. Jeez, my health. My health is not good right now. Those piglins, they do hit hard, I tell ya. Let's go see what we got. I threw in another 3 stacks of gold blocks. Yep, that'll do. Will it be enough for the whole build? I'm not sure. Well, it was just about enough. 12 stacks of smooth quartz. And what you're looking at here is a sort of partially built tower. So we've knocked out all of the quartz, and now we've just got the other colours going upwards to take care of. And there's stone in here because, of course, we've got to maintain the elevator. And I've got to fill this all up with water, which I kind of forgot about. And things are spawning on here. This is not good. So now I need stacks upon stacks of kelp. We're going to put water sources up the top here and then fill it up from the very bottom. And remember, this is hundreds of blocks up in the sky. Oh, do you know what? Hey, this might end up being like the tallest tower, if it's any taller than that one. Well, it's official. I'm feeling too lazy right now to make my own concrete, so I'm just going to nab some of the stuff from over here. I mean, I made all of this myself, right? And I'll stock it back up again one day. But for now, it's all in place, and we can turn our attention back to all of that kelp. You see, the place where I'm supposed to stand is just right above that hole. This is the perfect AFK spot right here. And so before I bring the water up to this level, we actually kind of need to use this space around here to make a little contraption to shimmy all the drowns around to like a single elevator in front of where the player is. And I think it's actually going to be pretty simple. I just happened to remember something really important. Okay? That. Yeah, I just flew off of this thing and I was like, oh yeah, my wings are going to break soon. Amazing timing. So getting back to it, this is pretty much it. Underneath those slabs are where we're going to have water converted into source blocks with kelp. And as you can see, it kind of flows over to this single point. So hopefully the drowns here will nudge each other into this elevator. And then up the top here, they're simply delivered to this point where I am standing and hitting them. And I'm hoping all of the items will end up landing on the hoppers as well. So the water should push all the items into the hoppers here, but if they don't, we can always redesign it. It's just occurred to me that I am going to drown, and I've got a long way to go to get to the top. Luckily for us, we made a very smart deal earlier on in the season with Stress Monster, who has the brewery shop over here. And check it out, water breathing. I'm going to snag a couple of these. And that's right, I don't have to pay a penny. Also, that kind of looks like Idea from last season. What is this? Oh dear. Oh dear. It looks like IKEA. This might be Keralis, he might be resurrecting this whole concept from last season. I mean, it's right next to his shops. And now we can get back to placing kelp in peace. We just got to put up with those fart bubbles. And with those magical potions, we've taken care of this. I was kind of thinking you might be able to see the bubbles of the water stream. You can kind of see it if I stick my face against the glass. If you come right out to the end of the Netherlands area, okay, and then you go this direction a little bit, you can just about see it. And we are getting close here, but there's still a long way to go, you know. We've got to light up some of the shores, remove some of the islands so that things don't spawn there, and light up some caves down below. But the next thing we're going to do is put the eyeball on top. This place feels strangely cozy, but some interior decorations are definitely in order. Right now though, we've learned two things. One, this concept absolutely works. We've got drowns right here. And two, we need to redesign this bit down here. The issue itself is actually really simple to understand. The drown gets pushed into the water stream when it connects with the water here. It then goes upwards, and at that point it loses connection there. So because this is free high, it causes a problem. So I will replace this with glass, but now I'm going to simulate a drown going into here. When my head hits the ceiling, I'm still going to be getting pushed by this water stream, which means I will go all the way into here. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just be stuck like this. Well, one thing's for sure, it'll take a little bit of redesigning here and there to get this to work, but we're getting drowns up the top here, which is fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, I adore this thing. Now that it's actually here on Hermitcraft, it just looks amazing. It is so wacky and bizarre, and I just feel like that's what makes it fit into all of this so well. Everything we've built so far has just been a total experiment in strangeness, and this is just another one of those. Now, we may not see this farm even in action today because there's been lots of hermits online. However, I've been putting the final touches in now, so you'll notice some of the landmass has gone over there, some of the beaches are a little bit smaller, and the island is gone. That's so that we don't have mobs spawning down there. That's one of 3 steps. The second step is to cover the top here in wall. I don't know if they'd actually spawn while I'm inside, but let's just put this down and make sure they don't spawn at all. Step number 3 is to light up all the caves below the ocean, and there should be an entrance to a cave just somewhere down around here. I think I just found it. Yes, here it is. Excellent. Oh, it looks like it's a waterlogged one though. So I don't know how waterlogged caves will affect our drowned farm, but these areas here, they all need to be lit up to stop regular mob spawning so we get more drowns in the area. And an hour or so later, I believe the job is done. There are also lots of mine shafts, so 2 golden apples, but awesomely a notch golden apple, a rarity right there, and a couple of diamonds. But the best thing is, this thing should be at optimal efficiency now. So my friends, we're moving on to another project, and if you cast your mind back a few episodes ago, we built a sugarcane farm. Not the most exciting thing, but we made it pretty, and this thing has stocked up that chest down below, which means that we can now make ourselves some maps, and we're going to be mapping out the area. So let's craft a bunch of compasses, and then let's make a map and go up top and do a test. We've also got the cartography table down here. This is going to become useful in a short while. So what I want to do, my friends, is map the entire area that we have been building in, and the test really is just to find out where roughly the center is and what it's centered on. So let's open one of these up, and that looks pretty promising because we're kind of in the middle of the area. So let's make a few more of these maps and put some of them together. Okay, made an extra one and I've got it now. I've also set up a temporary spot over here. The glowstone obviously makes all of this nice and bright. Let's throw that one in here, that one in there, and we've mapped out the area. And if we were to go to 5x5, we could probably include most of the stuff. Some of the arena over there would be left out. The new tower for the drowned farm would as well. So now what we're going to do is experiment with zooming out. And if you need a reminder on how to do this, you just add a piece of paper. Oh yeah, look, it actually like shows you that in action. Although I'm guessing what we actually do is then put that in here. Don't know why it's showing that. And then do that. Oh, this is strange. What has it done? Okay, now that I've opened it, it's perhaps potentially... Oh, I've put the wrong one in. Yeah, okay, and then we can zoom out again. Gotcha, gotcha. Right, we're going to go check out what it looks like when we've zoomed out this much. I think this is what's going to work, and it's these 4 maps that have been successfully zoomed out. Now, when you put a map into here and you zoom it out, it's actually kind of locked to the shape that's currently there. So if I were to just zoom out on all the ones that I'd made, they would actually overlap areas. So if you want to make a 3x3 that's zoomed out, what you actually want to do is start by making a 5x5 grid, and then take those ones like in the corner and move it in and zoom it out. Take the one at the top, move it down and zoom it out. So for me to do the top one right here, I'm going to take this one, fly north of it, create a map in that space, then I will zoom it out. Okay, so we just go north of this, we open up our new map in this area, plop it into here so it zooms out, and then after exploring the area we're going to put it back on the wall. So remember, on the original grid it would have been there, we zoomed out, we put it here, and look at that, it lines up perfectly. So I have ventured out to do the last 4 maps, and look at this, the 3x3 grid here is actually covering the entirety of our base. It does lack a little bit of detail in picking out every single block. You can see some of the paths are missing, and over here on the road sometimes you get yellow on the sides, sometimes you don't. But the main thing I wanted was for this to fit in a 3x3 grid so that we could make a globe. That's right, a globe in Minecraft. Well, how could you possibly do that, you might be wondering? Well, remember this building, it now has a purpose, and that is to host the globe. When I was putting this together, I had this vision of this right here, okay? Glowstone on all sides, and item frames above and below. And the room design around this thing is going to be a little bit awkward. Something like this, sort of dropping down below, and then being able to look at it from multiple angles, I think. But I know what you want to see. We want to put those maps in place, right? And it will probably look a bit weird as we tile it around because the edges won't line up, but I still think it's just such a novel idea. So you might have noticed that a few clips back I actually lost all of my XP, and that's because I let Tango and Zedaf kill me because they wanted a Strider head, and guess what? My head drops a bee's head, okay? I don't know what's up with that, but 1.16.2 is supposed to fix that bug, and hopefully we'll be updating between this episode and the next. And of course that brings with it the Piglin Brute. I'm looking forward to going over to the Bastions and hunting some of those down. There's loads of other features and fixes as well, including sideways chains. But anyway, I've been over here just repairing my wings because I've done so much flying in this episode. And this kind of reminded me that the room we're about to build, I think that quartz would be a good material to build it with. So I kind of picture the area around the quartz just being bright, so it's a good idea to get our hands on some more gold, as we're going to need to barter with the piglins again, do some AFKing over there and get more quartz for this build. So we got almost 2.5 stacks of gold blocks from that, and we're going to need it because we're starting to run a little low, and this means I need to AFK at the gold farm more often. For now, we're going to put that much into the... In fact, you know what? I'm just going to put all of it into the system, right? We are out of gold after this point, so I need to get as much quartz as I can. And what's going on over there? There's like a piglin party with the chickens. Yeah, very bizarre. I guess they get stuck in the trapdoors, but I've only been in the Nether for a short amount of time and they're all just hanging out over here. And they've all got shiny boots. Why do they have shiny boots? This is a mystery. What's going on? Oh, I think I know what's happening here. Get glowed, suckers. Get out of my redstone area. Yeah, I think I know what's going on here. This must have taken a very long time for them to accumulate. So all the way down the end here, the piglins can actually wander. And if they're standing right where this one is, then they can pick up some of the boots that come through this dropper before it gets destroyed in lava. Aha, look at that. The ones on this side are actually stuck over there wearing those boots. So if they have the ability to pick up boots and they stand here for long enough to get some, then wander all the way back across to the chicken pen, they are then unable to pathfind out of there, it would appear, and therefore they just stay there forever. What a bizarre thing to happen inside of our base. I can barely believe it. Well, I can't fit any more gold into the system. I guess that's a little bit of a flaw with it. Let's turn on the bartering system. Let's go AFK. Apparently I left it on. Whoopsie daisy. And when we come back, there's probably going to be more of them hanging out over there. Well, this was a colossal waste of an AFK session. 0 quartz. 0. Apparently the redstone over here just decided it wasn't going to work anymore. Let's give it a little update. That's how it's supposed to work. Oh, jeez, what a waste of time. So I've headed over to the commercial area to pinch my supply from here, but I realised I pinched it earlier in this episode to build the tower, so we are running down to the very last of our quartz. I don't think we're going to have enough to decorate this room properly. Fingers crossed by the end of this episode we'll have enough to mirror what you see behind me up above. And what I mean by that is basically flip this upside down, so the ceiling is going to be made out of quartz as well. I'm thinking smooth quartz for all of that up there though. And so you'll probably realise that we don't have landing bays, and we have these lighting fixtures on the side here, and you can wander up to the edge and look out and enjoy the view. But in the middle of the room, that's where I want the main feature to go, and it's going to involve fence posts, because I want the player's height to be about half a block when they're below the sphere, and that can be achieved by walking on top of fence posts, and then we can put carpet on top, so you kind of like walk off the bottom step but stay at the same height, which I like. And what's also cool about this right here is that the room's a little bit dark, and both of these blocks are going to let light through. And so with a big chunk of glowstone below, this should be very luminous now, which is what I want for this room for the most part, it to be bright and luminous. That's why we're using quartz. And yeah, it's going to be like a miniature map below the main one. And I got to say, it's a little underwhelming. It looked better in my mind. So if you got some ideas for what could fill this floor that would look better, I'm happy to give something else a try. And also working with carpets, I'm going to put some on the edges here and just on the outside, so nothing can spawn on the ledge and wander into the room. So how many sides does a sphere have? Or should I say a cube, actually? It has 6. So this is going to be quite straightforward. I'll take one piece of the map at one time, plop it into here, clone it so that we have 6 copies, and then take it to... Didn't let me do that, did it? Oh, okay. Well, I can still, with a couple of steps, get 6 all at once. There we go. And now I can just take it to the corner, like this, and put it in on each side. And I want the top to be the opposite to the bottom, so I'm going to have it like that, and then flip round here and put it on this corner. Aha, we are in need of rotation. And that's actually pretty straightforward. I think we need it down below as well, right? There we go. And so here it is. I thought the 3x3 was the right size, but clearly we could have gone for 5x5. However, if we'd done that with a zoomed in map, I think we would have been looking at less overall area, sort of the edges trimmed off. So that works. Going to 7x7 might be a bit much, but I could consider anything at this point. And it's really weird. It's just a floating cube of our area. I like how the terrain matches up there. I had to swap a lot of these maps around to get it to work. It's a shame it doesn't always line up like that. And there is actually another touch that I want to put onto this tower, and it involves a beacon. So I'm going to fly over here and nab this one that I was using a while back. So beacon beams, they don't go through concrete, but they do go through item frames, maps, glowstone, carpets, and fence posts. Well, this was unexpected. Maybe it doesn't actually go through fence posts? I think I need to do a test here. Well, what would you know? It's actually the glowstone that blocks it. So it can go through the other blocks, and we can actually replace our glowstone with glass for the sphere. And that way the beacon beam can go through it. This, my friends, is amazing. Oh, it gives it like a proper sense of being held up by something. So very novel. I absolutely love that. Now, before we continue with this video as normal, I also want to let you know that I am participating in Twitch Rivals, which is competitive Minecraft. I'm playing in a European Hermitcraft team with Stress Monster, Iscout and Rendog, and this takes place on Monday the 31st at around 6 PM in the UK time. So I'll probably put more information on the screen, including time zones, so be sure to pencil that into your calendar. And I hope to see you over there on Twitch for some Twitch Rivals. I, my friends, have been blessed with another opportunity to AFK for a little bit while I'm out cooking and eating. And look at it, there's so many of them over there, it's crazy. Anyway, we've gotten our hands on some quartz. This is going to be very useful for our needs. And we're going to be chucking all of this into the smelter, which might just be backed up. Yeah, it's backed up in a big way because I've been working on our game over in the Netherlands, and I need tons and tons of nether bricks for it. So probably a good idea to free up some space here and craft some more nether bricks. And so when that smelting is done, I'm going to come back over here and mirror the bottom up top with some smooth quartz, and then the project will be done. But I have run out of time for today. And so I just want to end on a note saying thank you for all of your support. I made some remarks at the end of the last episode about taking time off, which, by the way, I'm not experiencing burnout or anything like that. I just feel like it's healthy every now and then to make sure you get some time away from doing what you normally do, I guess. And so I'm going to be spending a little bit more time doing other things in the month of September. And so you'll probably see less frequent episodes of Hermitcraft. Anyways, let's wrap this one up. Thank you as always for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. And I will see you soon in the next episode of Hermitcraft. So ciao for now. Bye bye.